Killer Kyle. Me and Matt having supper.
Yeah.
Getting ready to do our video. Hey Kyle, what time is it?
It's just after 6.
No, I think it's clobber time!
I'm Killer Kyle.
Welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury. Kyle, and welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury. And it's time once again to start the all-out pay-per-view.
You know, it's interesting how, not really the beginning of the year, but it was like a couple months ago, you had All In. Now you have All Out.
I don't understand that. But yeah, and I mean, the lead up to this show, the Go Home show, is really good, by the way.
Yeah.
You have the steel cage match. You've got the return of one CM Punk, and of course the return in ring of one Paul White. Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, this will be fun. I think this is going to be a very good show, and I don't know what's going to happen, but
yeah, it's going to be a very interesting show, I must say. Yeah, so let's get started, and hopefully this time All Out won't be taken in the literal sense. Wink, wink.
Yeah. I'll get enough sleep.
So we start things off with the buy-in, and you're gonna have a all-women's casino battle royal to determine a #1 contender for Britt Baker and the AEW Women's Championship. You're going to have Nyla Rose take on the Bunny, Penelope Ford, I'm sure, several other women participate. It was this past Wednesday on Dynamite. You had the return of Anna Jay.
That's right, yes.
So I'm sure she'll participate in this match. And, you know, there's at least one person in this match that is, of course, a former AEW Women's Champion. Other than that, you've got a wide variety of women that could be potential contenders for Britt Baker. I don't know if Hikaru Shida will participate in the Battle Royal. Maybe. We'll have to see. As far as who's going to win, I mean, you got a lot of very talented women.
Yeah.
This match, I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you got Takahashi, obviously. You've got fucking Ali. You have Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch. Obviously, there's a lot of good, talented female wrestlers. I honestly want to see how they go over in win this match. I don't know where that's going to go, but I've said this before. I think she is very impressive now. I mean, her run in Impact was so-so. Obviously, it was a different gimmick.
Yes.
Her time in Smash was very good.
Yes.
It is time for Ali to get something. And what better way for her to get that championship in the future than to win this match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it would be interesting to see Ali as the AEW Women's Champion, have her get another time in the spotlight, if you will, moment to shine, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Ali would be a good choice. Like, there's so many women that are deserving of a shot at the championship, and you know, with the whole rankings that AEW has, it's like, okay, you gotta work your way up the ladder to get to the number one contender spot. But then, you know, with these battle royals, whether it be women's or men's, and you know, you get a shot at the AEW Women's Championship or the AEW Championship.
Right.
It really puts a different spin on it, which is a good thing. I enjoy it. And even though there's those rankings, it's like, okay, we don't really have a, you know, number one spot right now. So we're going to give these women an opportunity to get that top contender spot, or if there is a number one contender, once that person either, you know, loses to the champion or they win the championship, then let's say the person that wins the battle royal gets the next shot in line.
Exactly. And that's the thing. You know, I don't see Ali and Britt Baker in a match.
No.
It can happen.
Yeah.
I just don't know. But yeah, like I said, I think Ali is due for getting the title.
Mm-hmm.
It won't probably be this month. It probably won't be next month. I want to see this happen at least before the end of the year.
If that's at all possible.
And that's also true.
Yeah. I mean, would it be cool to see? Sure. I feel that Ali's got a ways to go to get there. My opinion.
Okay. Alright, so we have this match. It's actually very interesting to see these two guys go at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we haven't seen them. They were in WWE at 2 different times,
Yes.
but finally get to see it. We've got England's own. I was gonna almost say devil. You have Pac versus the Mexican luchador of Andrade El Idolo.
We got the bastard against the idol.
Exactly. And I mean, you see these two in the ring, and the highest style, the spots that they do, it is pretty fucking amazing. And I mean, Andrade was impressive at Triple Mania.
Yes.
It will be very interesting to see what he can do against Pac. And yeah, I mean, honestly, this is going to be a toss-up.
Yeah, for sure.
Andrade is new to the AEW roster, but Neville, well, yeah, he can use a win.
Yeah, I'd say Pac could use a win. One thing I always really kick out of is when Justin Roberts is introducing Pac, and just the amount of emphasis he puts on the word, the bastard Pac. Like, okay, Justin, take it easy,
Well,
buddy.
for being a ring announcer, you have to have that oomph. But he no longer calls himself the king of the cruiserweights, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But it is going to be a good match. Yeah, Pac for the win.
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys, I feel, should get a win on the big stage, if you will. But, like, with the short period of time Pac was away, now him having just came back, I think it may benefit Pac just a little bit more getting a win.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, there's going to be other opportunities for Andrade to get a win. Can it happen? Sure. Will it? Well, maybe.
I mean, you have Chavo Guerrero on Andrade's corner, but you also have the Lucha Brothers on Pac's corner.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's kind of that fight, too. Will they get involved? I don't know.
Yeah. When they first initially brought in Vicky to manage Nyla Rose, did you have a feeling that eventually Chavo would get involved, or
No.
yeah,
No, because I figured he was done with professional wrestling as a
Yeah.
whole. Now, would he be like an agent? Maybe. I don't know. But I never saw that coming.
And I mean, like, that's what it seems to be right now. Chavo is Andrade's manager, business associate,
Yeah.
whichever you want to call it. And I mean, there, there's nothing wrong with that. You have, the family ties there, Becky and Chavo. And, the shock value, of course, of having Chavo come in. And it was not that long ago, I think it was Chavo was doing an interview with Chris Van Vliet, and he was talking about he has a podcast, Cervezas and Suplexes, which is cool. And now that he's got involved with AEW, he's like, alright, you have the established experience of Chavo, and like Andrade is experienced as well, but the storyline they've got going right now is like Andrade is this like major mogul, and he's got this worldwide global business or whatever, and he's making all this money, and he's got all these things and whatever. I mean, he's already gone so far as to try and recruit the Lucha Brothers, but they aren't having any of it.
No.
So, I mean, that aspect is interesting. We'll see where it goes and how it goes. Yeah, Pac for the win for sure. Have, of course, as Matt aforementioned just a few minutes ago, you got the return of the big guy.
That's a Diesel thing. I don't know.
Yeah, this is Diesel, this is Big Show or Paul White, going one-on-one with QT Marshall.
Yes, we've got Paul White, the Giant, Big Show versus Kevin James, identical twin, QT Marshall. And this match, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't seen Paul White wrestle in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. Yeah, he had some matches last year.
Yeah.
They were shit. But I mean, it was the empty arena shows, so it didn't really matter. This match is going to be interesting because you have two guys that one's an evil genius, then you got the Giant who I'm sure he could still go.
I mean, he still chokeslam the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And deliver pretty good, still deliver that right hand.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. You have a guy that worked out hardcore in the gym, has a six-pack, or an eight-pack, whatever you want to fucking call it.
Six-pack, eight-pack, whichever.
He really took care of himself, and it was a fucking shame that the WWE, fuck you Vince, had let him go.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not he wanted to go, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, whatever. This is going to be very cool to see.
Yes.
However, I don't see Paul White winning this one. I'm not saying he's not going to have any victories in AEW. For him to come back and just 1, 2, 3 have a match, and a lot of wrestlers do that. They come back and they win their first match. I think that QT will win it all out. And I know they'll feud. They'll have to feud more.
Yeah.
And then Paul White will win the next match.
Yeah.
And if you saw the dirt sheet, and you obviously knew that when CM Punk returned to professional wrestling, that he was going to have his first match with Darby Allin. I mean, he named off a bunch of different wrestlers,
Yeah.
but Darby Allin was his number one. Now, there are two things to this that I can see both sides. You know, people are like, why is it that CM Punk is saying things like, I'm gonna be your mentor and I can really help you out, when Darby Allin already has Sting? And two, kind of go against that, you have CM Punk go, you know, when I was 15 years old, Darby Allin would have been my favorite wrestler. Darby Allin goes, when I was 15 years old, he was my favorite wrestler. I mean, you've got two of these guys who are badass motherfuckers. They're straight edge. They can do some awesome fucking moves in the ring. And Punk questions himself. The old classic, hey, do I still have it? I don't know. Do I still have it? Well, the only way to fucking go through that is to go in the ring. And I think, and I know for a shadow of a doubt, that CM Punk still fucking has it. So this match is going to be interesting, because is Sting going to be in Darby's corner? Is it just going to be one-on-one? I don't know.
I have an answer.
Alright?
There's on Dynamite. Punk came out and he's, hyping up all out his match with Derby and, talking about various other things. Then you got Daniel Garcia and 2.0 come out. They start beating up on Punk. Sting and Darby Allin come out. Coffin drop, Scorpion Death drop, go to sleep. There it is. And then Sting gets on the microphone and he's like, Darby, I know you're fired up for this match. Punk, I know you're fired up for this match. I know you're going to have a hell of a match. But I'm going to go out on stage with Darby. I'm going to fist bump him. Then I'm going to walk to the back. Darby's going to go to the ring with you, have the match. I'm going to hang backstage and just let you guys do your thing.
Okay, see, I did watch that segment. I guess I missed that part of it. I understood the fist pumping shit and whatever. But yeah, I could see that for sure. Sting letting those two do their thing in the ring and sing. Well, but no, in all honesty, yeah, that's exactly what you would expect. And so I think that this is going to be a good match. And like I said, in the last match, for CM Punk to win his first night, not only his first night in AEW, his first time, his first pay-per-view in AEW, his first time in 7 years in a wrestling ring. So to have him beat Darby Allin on Sunday would make no fucking sense. They could still feud. They could still have a match. They could still have many matches to come. I picked Darby Allin. And it doesn't take nothing away from CM Punk. But I still think that this can be an awesome kick-ass feud.
Sure it can. Thing is, though, okay, Matt does have a point, It's Punk's first match in AEW. His first big event in AEW. His first time in a wrestling ring in 7 years. But it's also going to be in Chicago. You're in Punk's home.
That's right.
You're in Punk's backyard.
That's,
And, he's said, it's one thing to beat me on any given night. It's another thing to beat me or even try to beat me in my hometown. Now, does that say Punk is going to definitively win? No. Can he win? I'm sure. I believe he can.
yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a match for sure. And, one thing that Darby Allin said that I found very interesting was that, Matt said when Darby was 15 years old, he was a big fan of Punk. And Punk has a list of all these people he wants to be in the ring with. And Darby was like, I'm the first one on the list. When in all actuality, I should have been the last one on the list. So because I'm the first one on the list, I'm going to do whatever it takes to beat you. And, I'm sure Punk's going to do whatever it takes to beat Darby as well. And, that whole aspect and extra incentive about it being in Chicago, that's just going to fuel it that much more. And I mean, we all heard the crowd's reaction when Punk came out on Rampage, just a couple weeks ago. The crowd was electric. And even, this past Wednesday, with Dynamite being in Chicago, and then, All Out this Sunday is going to be in Chicago. I think they had Rampage in Chicago too, I believe.
Yeah.
So, the crowd is just going to be rocking for, the whole night for sure, but definitely for that match.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Like, you pick Darby? I'm going to go Punk, just for the hell of it.
Obviously I learned this, and I know in my heart of hearts that I'm still that person in 2013 that wore the shirt, wore the cuffs with pride, because I love CM Punk. And I'm still a fan. Yes, his UFC career was the shits. But for him to come back, and I say come back home, to professional wrestling, and nothing to take away from him, but if he can pull it off, good. That's awesome. I just don't know. It's one thing for Paul White to come over to AEW and to have his first match. And I don't care what you want to call WWE, but he's been a wrestler. He still was wrestling 7 years. 7 years ago, CM Punk stopped wrestling. For that time, Paul White was still in the ring. I'm not saying that Phil Brooks can't do it, but I just can't see it. And yes, it is in Chicago, Illinois. I just think that Punk can have a win at some other pay-per-view against Darby Allin.
Okay. Next, we've got what is being referred to as the final fight. Yeah, once again, MJF one-on-one with Jericho. This time, Jericho has flat out said that if he loses, he won't wrestle in AEW. He's to commentary regularly on Rampage. He will, continue to do that role, but as far as in-ring competition, if he loses to MJF again, that's it. No more. He's done. In-ring competition.
Yeah. And the history with those two, the past 3 years. You have Chris Jericho as one of the, and yes, the GOAT. And it's true, he is the GOAT. At least he should be on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. WWE, you will go WWF if you want. WCW, ECW, New Japan, CMLL, AAA, fucking Smoky Mountain. You know, this guy has done it all. So, and obviously, a Grand Slam champion in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite sure how many titles, I can't even count. I know he didn't win the WCW heavyweight title.
No.
But here's a guy that has been proving himself for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And what an asshole casserole that guy is.
Mm-hmm.
And even, you know, not breaking kayfabe when he's on camera or anything like that, which I think is cool. But here's a guy, too, who was wrestled in most independent companies.
Mm-hmm.
So you take these two guys, they've had 3 matches, and MJF has won all 3 matches.
Yeah.
So now they're going to do this match. I honestly think Chris is going to win.
Yeah.
Because the guy is not finished.
No.
There is no fucking way that I see Chris Jericho walk away from the ring.
No.
Not now.
Yeah. You know, it was on Dynamite that Jericho cut this very fired up, intense, and rather passionate promo. He's talking about the occasions where MJF beat him, and he's like, okay, yeah, you beat me 2020, 2021, and 2019. Beat me on these dates, and they're forever etched in my brain, but as far as, you know, getting the job done and getting rid of me completely, you don't have what it takes. You don't have the balls to do it, son. When it comes down to it, my back's against the wall, I'm gonna come out firing all cylinders, and I'm gonna beat your ass, boy. Well,
Yeah.
something kind of paraphrasing, but you got the idea.
No, I definitely see Chris win.
Yeah.
I see Chris have more matches. There is no way that he will ever retire inside the squared circle. Shit, I could see him wrestle until he's 60.
I don't know about Jericho wrestling till he's 60,
No, and that's just an observation.
but I'd say he's got another at least 5+ years in him.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, you know, he could easily be AEW World Champion again. He could easily be maybe TNT Champion. Don't really know about the tag titles, maybe.
No.
But for sure, AEW Champion again, and maybe TNT Champion. And like for, you know, what we've talked about, you know, for 50 years old, the man still got it.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I always shit on wrestlers who are in their 50s, 60s, and they're still going. But I still believe that Chris Jericho has it in him. He's a great wrestler. He's not a Bill Goldberg. He can still make his wrestlers, his opponents, look good. He can make himself look good.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what this match is going to entail.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we both picked Jericho. We're done with the MJF shit. But, and that being said, what happens afterwards, I don't know.
I think, okay, you have Santana and Ortiz beat FTR on Dynamite. You put this one to bed.
Yeah.
You have the Inner Circle move on, do their own thing. You have the Pinnacle move on, do their own thing, and just go that way. I mean, for sure, at some point, put Santana and Ortiz in line for the tag titles. Hell, you could even throw tag titles back on FTR if you want. The potential is there for the other guys as well. Like, Wardlow, that dude, I can honestly see them putting a title on him at some point. Which one, I don't know.
Oh god, yeah.
Hagar, yeah, you could put a title on him, maybe. Sammy Guevara, you could very easily throw the TNT title on him, no problem.
Yeah.
As for, Jericho and MJF, like I said, Jericho, you can easily throw the world title back on him, throw the TNT title on him. MJF, throw the TNT title on him, have him be a heel champion. I mean, that'd be interesting, so, yeah.
There we go. So now we have the AEW Women's Championship. We've got the bitch, I guess.
The baddest bitch on the block.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who's gonna take on Chris Statlander.
They're not really referring to her anymore as the galaxy's favorite alien, but Chris Statlander and Britt Baker. And it was pretty much inevitable that Britt Baker was going to become AEW Women's Champion. And, Chris Statlander has more than proven that she is a very good wrestler, very good performer. I mean, they don't have her talk. Well, they do have her talk a little bit. So, her mic work, you can't really judge too much.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't really talk that much. Britt is really good on the microphone. She's, she can be funny in moments. She can be very serious in moments. She got that old school promo skill, if you will.
Yeah, kid.
And, she's very good. I have a feeling Brett's gonna retain, honestly.
Oh, yeah. No idea.
Not to take anything away from Statlander, it's just there really hasn't been a whole lot for me that says Statlander is championship material, to put it. Not knocking the girl. She's, really good in the ring, great performer, great talent, good hard-working girl. There's just that quality missing, in my opinion, that says, hey, she deserves a shot at the championship.
Yeah. So, that being said, I just had a thought. Because you have the best friends and Orange Cassidy on Chris Statlander's team.
Well, you have Jackie T, Wheeler Yuta, you've got...
Yeah, Wheeler Yuta.
Trapped out with an injury.
Okay,
yeah.
So... Basically Orange Cassidy. Britt Baker, let's say she wins the match. Okay, that may not even work, but... Well, let's say for shits and giggles. You have Orange Cassidy try to get involved. There's one man that has been released from WWE that could come out and make the save. That one man, Adam Cole, baby!
I don't see him debuting yet, honestly.
Not yet?
No.
Alright. Well, in any case, I think Britt's gonna retain.
Yeah.
I think that Chris is a great wrestler, but she still can, I guess, wait. It's hard to explain, but she will get the title by the end of the year. I will say that. Brett is on a winning streak. She's been champion for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Let's continue. Let's see what more she can do. And it's almost like she's got her own stable.
In a way,
In a way, Reba don't wrestle.
No.
The other one, I don't even know. And she might wrestle on Dark. I don't know.
I've seen her have like one match
Right.
so far. I'm sure she'll have more, but
So I mean, let's keep this going.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, as much as I think that Chris Statlander is good in the ring, I honestly think that Britt Baker will retain.
This one. This match is very, very interesting. You have Jon Moxley talk about how he's watching the Olympics. All these people into Japan for the Olympics, the Special Olympics. And he's like, but why can't I go do something with New Japan? I'm here in America with AEW, but why can't I go to Japan and wrestle for New Japan? So it's like, I've sent over a stack of contracts to a friend of his that is in contact with the head of New Japan. He wants to see who's gonna step up and come through the forbidden door and face him. Well, there was a response. So at All Out, Jon Moxley goes one-on-one with the innovator of the Koji Clutch, Satoshi Kojima.
Hell yeah.
Now, of course, we saw Kojima a little while ago on Impact. Him and Joe Doran had a hell of a match. I'm sure this match will be insane as well. And you've got Moxley talking about how you got this crazy old man accepting my challenge and wanting to come to AEW and wrestle, but you know what? Yes, I admire you. Yes, I have respect for you, but I'm going to attempt to take the air out of your lungs and break bones and tear tendons and all this other stuff. But you're going to see the end of Satoshi Kojima. And it's like, wow, Moxley's taking the intensity to a level.
Hell yeah. And I mean, look, it kind of pisses me off because I understand the fact that Jon Moxley couldn't make it to Japan. So here's the thing. They put the belt, the United States Championship, on Jon Moxley, and he loses it to Lance Archer because whatever, I guess Hiroshi Tanahashi didn't want to wrestle him. So, okay, fine. Now, I believe that there was a match at Resurgence, and it might have been a different show, but I mean, Jon Moxley was front and center, and you had Tanahashi in a match with Lance Archer. So you tell me. Now, maybe there's bad blood. Maybe there's bad blood between Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi. But you tell me that you had Lance Archer beat Jon Moxley for the IWGP US Championship only for Lance Archer to lose to Hiroshi Tanahashi?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. It's the IWGP United States Championship. It should be in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I get that. But you have Jon Moxley in a fucking announce team. Like, fuck off with this bullshit. I get that some wrestlers don't get along and they don't want to wrestle each other. And I'm not going to take anything away from this match because it was awesome. But holy fuck, you couldn't have had a better match with Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi. But obviously, they couldn't stand each other. so they couldn't wrestle each other.
I guess.
I don't know. That's fucking bullshit to me. Because that could have happened. And again, it's nothing to take away from Lance Archer. But I see Lance Archer doing bigger and better things. His thing with Hikuleo was good.
Yes.
It wasn't that good, but it was good.
Yeah.
And the fact is that, you know, with the way John wrestles and the way Hiroshi wrestles, it just seems like a perfect fit. And that they could have had a good match at Resurgence. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And Hiroshi is now the IWGP US champion. And now you have Jon Moxley versus Koshima. So, things are confusing to me sometimes, I guess.
Like, I do agree with you in the aspect of, like, okay, why the hell they would have Archer beat Moxley only for Archer to lose the title to Tanahashi? But wasn't it Resurgence? Or there was an event not that long ago where there was a tag team match. It was the Good Brothers against Jon Moxley and Yuji Nagata.
That's true as well. Now, I don't know why I glanced over that. Because I did say in my review that thy enemy is my friend. And you have Moxley and Nagata who wrestled in a match in AEW. Again, it was good, not great.
Yeah.
They made a much better tag team. So yes, that is true. I glanced over that.
Foul!
It was still a good match. That was a good match.
And you know, with the match with Nagata and Moxley for the United States Heavyweight Championship on Dynamite a couple months ago, it was, you know, John's in that moment where, you know, you're trying to take the title from me and I'm going to do everything I can to keep the title no matter what. But after the match, you know, Moxley showed his respect to Nagata and Nagata returned the favor. So to me, that lends to maybe not necessarily the reasoning, but the how you got to Moxley and Nagata teaming against the Good Brothers.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, not a lot of tag teams get along, but they do have mutual respect for each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can honestly see that.
Now, at some point, I don't think it'll be on like a Dynamite or something like that. I think it'll probably be maybe the next New Japan event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure you're going to have Gallows and Anderson take on the Guerrillas of Destiny.
That's right, yeah.
Because it was after the match, Tama Tonga and Tonga Lua come out and confront Gallows and Anderson when they're face to face, and that should be a very intense match.
Oh yeah. The king of the Coquilita Clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as this match is concerned, I think I'm going to take Moxley.
Alright, yeah, I think so too. I mean, and there's nothing to take away from Koshima, it's just, I think Moxley can really come out the winner is not necessarily the better wrestler, but I can see it happen. Now, who knows? Like, honestly, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've seen Kojima's matches in the past, so I know what he can do, but I honestly can see what Moxley is going to do and what he has done.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I'll take Moxley as well.
Steel cage match.
Oh yeah, so now we have a steel cage match. We've got the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both guys in different times, but both guys were an Impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have the Young Bucks as the AEW champion take team, and you know this match is going to be amazing. I think so, anyways. I mean, you got two guys that I wouldn't necessarily call them veterans just yet, but they have been in the wrestling business for a shit ton of a long time. And the fact is that you still have the AAA take team belts.
Yes.
On the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah.
So, honestly, this is going to be a difficult one to decipher because we'll get to that when we get to that, but I don't see the Lucha Brothers go over.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Both these teams are very, very good tag teams. And this would make for a hell of a match. And, you know, for it being a steel cage match, you know, that's just going to make it all that much more interesting. The Young Bucks somehow could very easily get the win. How? Well, you know, we'll have to wait to see on that one.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not quite sure, but I mean, yeah, it's just that you have a good thing going with the Elite. You've got Kenny Omega as the AEW champion. You've got the Good Brothers on Impact, who are the Impact Tag Team champions. You got the Young Bucks. You've got them as the AEW Tag Team champions. So that's pretty cool. It's almost like the Evolution when they had all the gold. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I just don't see the Lucha Brothers win. That's only my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is what it is. I believe the TNT Championship
Yes.
defended in a match. You got Miro against Eddie Kingston. You know, you got Eddie Kingston talking about how Miro has this kryptonite. He's got a weakness as his neck, and you know, taking it was either DDT or power. I think it was a DDT, and you know he's weak in that aspect. And Miro's like, I don't have a weakness. You know, I am as strong as ever. I'm tough. I'm strong. I'm big. I'm powerful. I can take anything. And Kingston's like, you know, I'm gonna beat your ass. It doesn't matter how, you know, what way, what fashion, what means, but I'm gonna win. And, you know, when they first brought in Miro as the best man, is like, okay, that's kind of random. And, you know, he had blonde hair, but it looks like he went back to his original hair color, which is like...
Thank fuck.
Yeah. We already got one blonde in Cody Rhodes. We don't need another one in Miro. Anyways. And now you've got Miro as God's favorite champion or whatever it is. Like, why can't you just have him as a fucking ass-kicking machine? Like, he destroys people, he beats people up, he hurts people, he wins matches, he wins championships. That's all you need. You don't need a fucking stupid-ass gimmick like this. It was bad enough you had him as this sex addict and that horrendous storyline in WWE. Now, it's not as bad, but like, God's favorite champion? When the fuck did Miro become religious? He probably is. I don't know.
Oh yeah, he is, and that's what I don't understand. Is that you take somebody's religion and you go, oh, you believe in, you're a Christian? Okay, well, guess what? Now we're going to call you God's favorite champion. You're God's. What the yeah, you're right. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? You want to use some other gimmick, that's fine. But you want to put somebody's religion and somebody's whatever into it, that's bullshit to me. It was bullshit when they did that with Shawn Michaels. It's bullshit when they do that here.
They say Miro's the Redeemer. Redeemer my ass.
Yeah. That's bullshit. And I mean, I love Eddie Kingston. I think that seeing him wrestle for years, you know, starting with Impact, obviously. I may have seen him in other shit too, but I mean, this guy is one of the best wrestlers. He has that hard life and that he brings out in the wrestling world. And so, to see him square off with Miro, that's going to be a tough challenge.
Yeah.
I want to see if Eddie Kingston can actually beat him for the TNT title.
Yeah.
And this would be an amazing feat for him. You know, have Eddie Kingston finally get his due. It's fucking time.
Yeah.
When the fuck did he ever get a title?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't fucking know. So yeah, I'm saying that quite a lot. I'm gonna pick Eddie Kingston.
And like, you know, Eddie has made it known that he too is a religious person. He wears the rosary. You know, nothing wrong with that. You know, he's made up for his sins, atoned for his sins. I'm a religious man. No problem. Nothing wrong with that. But I mean, like, you know, it's a part of his life, but it's not who he is as a performer.
Right.
Him as a performer is this, you know, no nonsense, take no bullshit. I will beat the fuck out of you, break your limbs, and then go to the bar and have a shot of Jack afterwards.
Exactly.
Or whatever he drinks.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
But yeah, that's the difference. I'm sure there's a lot of wrestlers out there that are Christian, that are Jewish, that are agnostic, atheist, whatever. They do not put that in their character.
No.
To call Miro God's favorite champion is utterly stupid because it adds nothing to that character.
No. None whatsoever.
Is he a good wrestler? Fucking right, he's a good wrestler. In fact, he's got more freedom in AEW than he ever did in WWE. I guess. So, like, I'm still gonna pick Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, I'll take Eddie too, just cause I think, you know, Eddie's due for a championship. Although I will say, Miro's submission, I mean, it's still the accolade or whatever the fuck they're going with now, but like, fuck, has he ever taken that to a different level?
Yeah, I mean, fuck. That there's like the most painful submission move I have ever fucking seen.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna take you, I'm gonna put you in the camel clutch, then I'm gonna bend you backwards like a pretzel.
Yeah.
And try to stick your head between your legs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how fucking people get through that move and not break a bone in their body, but yeah. Alright.
You have the AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega, defending the title against the newly minted Impact World Champion, Christian Cage. Now, I honestly, like, they had a fairly good match at the pay-per-view a couple weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I think it was, where Christian initially won the Impact World title. I don't see Christian as Christian Two Bells, I'll put it.
I hope not. I fucking hope not. You don't understand, and I've said this before, because it really pisses me off that you've got a roster full of wrestlers, and you can't put one title on a wrestler and one title on another. You know, for a long time now, we've had triple champions, we've had quadruple champions, going all the way back to Austin Aries.
Yeah.
You know, Dan Severn, fucking, you know, the recently departed Daphne. You know, and then you have Randy Orton with the world title in one hand and the WWE title in the other hand, which also was a Triple H thing. You have a lot of others. Kenny Omega. Can we fucking stop, please?
Yeah.
You can't tell me. You cannot fucking tell me that there's not one person in the locker room that doesn't deserve a fucking title. That one person alone has to have three or four. This is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yes, I get it. You're a champion. You've got champions. Fucking A. Awesome. I believe Ultimo Dragon might have had one. I don't know.
Ultimo Dragon had several titles in his career.
I know.
At once.
And kudos. I get it. I don't know why this keeps happening. I really fucking don't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's nothing to take away from Christian. He's already the Impact Champion. But it's going to be a good match. And I know Lemmy Omega is going to go over. So, I will pick him for the win. It's nothing against the creepy little bastard, but I think that this is going to go to the cleaner, and who knows, maybe there's going to be another title shot. Somebody's going to have to beat Omega. Somebody's going to have to do that. I know. I just don't think that Christian's going to do it. He already beat him for the Impact title. So, let's fucking get this over with. And then move on and see who else can take on Kenny Omega and beat Kenny Omega for the AEW Championship, because Kenny can have plenty of opponents, but you're not doing anybody any favors by having a champion versus a champion. It's stupid, it's bullshit, and you already have a tag team championship match with another tag team championship tag team. And that's just like, why is this happening? Because Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy can have their match with fucking Young Bucks have their match with the tag team gold, or fuck, you even have the Young Guns, or whatever they're called. But, nope, we have to have champion versus champion. Why, I don't know.
Thing that I find, like, okay, obviously they made several references to Kenny Omega being the Mega Champion. But, yeah, the Lucha Brothers defended the AAA tag titles on Triple Mania, but no references have been made about that in AEW. I mean, I don't think they're trying to hide anything, but like,
Yeah.
you know. But when you were going off that rant, did you say Lemmy Omega?
I sure as shit did.
I thought that, like, okay, where the fuck that came from, anyways. But before we close this sucker out, as Matt mentioned, I think we should divulge a little bit more into it, at least out of respect.
Huh?
Sadly, the wrestling world has lost another person in Shannon Spiro. Wrestling fans would know her better, of course, as Daphne Younger, the Scream Queen, 46 years old. And I saw some stuff on social media where she did a live on Instagram, and she wasn't in a really good place.
Yeah.
She was talking about harming herself, and, you know, I'm sure there's people trying to, you know, get into contact with her and, you know, make sure she was okay, try and help her, whatever. Mick Foley put out a tweet on Twitter asking if anyone knew a number to get a hold of her, what her address was, so he could, like, you know, call her, go to her house and, you know, check in on her, see if she was okay, talk to her, whatever. And then It hasn't been confirmed, but I think the belief is she committed suicide.
No, yeah, no, there's no doubt with that. I made the video myself, and there's way too many people who are dying of mental illness.
Yeah.
You don't understand the people. If we did videos about this, Anthony Bourdain, Kurt Cobain,
Yeah.
Chris Cornell,
Yeah.
you know, just death upon death upon death.
I think Chester Bennington.
Chester Bennington as well.
Yeah.
And the fact is, it's not talked about enough.
Yeah.
That's not talked about enough. And I saw something that was put out, and it was on Facebook, and they said, and they, the WWE said, if there's anybody with health issues, then they please will get somebody out to help you, talk to you. And some jackoff had said, well, it's about time. So what, it takes this for them to answer? And that's like, I understand where you're coming from. However, the fact that WWE has tried to help wrestlers and to help everybody in different ways.
Yeah.
Yes, it hasn't been the best over the years. And it just is tragic.
Yeah.
And it's tragic because it didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
She should have got the help. She could have got the help. But the fact of the matter is, it didn't need to fucking happen. Just like Anthony Bourdain. And you know what? There are people out there that are suffering.
Yes.
You may never know. That's why it's so important to not bully, to not push people, to not make them feel like shit. Because that's not the way that life should be. That's just the way it is, in my opinion.
And you know, this one particular person said, it's about time. Well, you look in that aspect, yes, you could say it is about time. But I think with the continued deaths in wrestling, not necessarily all related to, you know, death by, let's say, suicide over mental health issues, but there, you know, Sasha Banks is a case where, you know, she took time away because she was, you know, she wasn't in the right place emotionally and mentally, so she stepped away, took some time off, and then came back. You know, I've said many times, and I'll still see it. I prompt her for doing that. Kudos to her for doing that. But if there are people out there that are in a dark enough place that they don't want to ask for help or they're afraid to ask for help, don't. Because the sooner you get help, the better off you'll be in the long run. Get yourself in the right mental headspace, right emotionally, just fix yourself and you will be a better person for it.
Yeah.
And it's sad to think that, like, you know, people that have these mental health issues and, you know, the voices in their head, if you will, when they can't take it anymore, they feel like their only outlet is killing themselves.
Yeah.
And it's not. Your biggest asset in life are those around you. Your family, your friends, your co-workers, whoever else. admit, come right out and say you need the help, you want the help, and they will for sure do whatever it takes to get you the help you need. It's the same for people that have an addiction, whether it be alcohol, whether it be drugs, whether it be anything else. Say you need help. Know you need the help. Say you need the help. And then the rest will fall into place. You can go from there. But the first step is saying, I need help. It's that simple.
And I think that I will say in closing what I said before, and I will keep saying. You hear people in the past talk about how can he end his life? How can she end her life? There are people dying in the hospital. You do not understand the mental capacity, the mental health that these people go through day to day, on a day-to-day basis, where they feel like they are so useless, that they are worthless.
That they're not loved, that they're not cared for, that nobody gives a shit about them.
And you don't get it because you don't know anybody in your fucking life. And I don't give a shit or anything like that if you have been like that and you've cured yourself. Good for you. I don't fucking understand why you have to belittle other people for their struggles. And it doesn't make sense to me.
For a lot of people, like I said, they're in such a dark place that they feel like their only means of, getting rid of the voices in their head and, they just not be on this planet anymore, and ultimately they kill themselves. Whether it be drug overdose, alcohol, hanging themselves, whatever the case may be, but, there are means of getting help. It's just asking for help.
Yeah.
If you are strong enough to, phone somebody, phone one of those, like a therapist, or one of those hotlines, or whatever the case may be, please do it. If you don't feel like you're strong enough to do it, though, get somebody to do it for you. It don't matter if it's your parents. It don't matter if it's your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your boss, a co-worker, a family friend, a friend, your best friend, whatever it is, just put it out there, say you need the help, and get it.
Yeah, that's
Bottom line.
very well said. So, let's end it on a sad note, but it was important to talk about.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the next time we're gonna be here, and it's gonna be look back at WCW Bash at the Beach 1997, and yeah, so we'll talk about it. Kia talk, what's that word? Play it by ear.
Yeah.
So anyways, for me, Matt, this is Killer Kyle. And we love you. Just remember that. Deuces.
Bye, guys.